This Sir Award winner was a man of the earth. In his 5-decade construction career, he not only planted the roots of our community, but built friendships that ran even deeper.
If all of Chris's family and friends were at this event tonight, they would have to get Lawler Events Center.
Chris Gerhardt grew up on the Stark Dakota Plains. As a young man, he traveled the West as a backhoe and excavator operator, building the highways that link the towns, creating the military silos that protected our country, and the dams that made our crops bloom.
Dad lived life to the fullest. His bucket list was very short. He enjoyed people and just enjoyed life.
Somewhere in his travels between Utah and California, he discovered a beautiful little town on the banks of the Truckee River. He vowed to return and began his excavation firm in 1966. 6 years later, he partnered with Ken Berry to create Gerhardt and Berry Construction.
They did mostly underground, water, sewer, and gas.
If it was a deep, wet project and stuff that a lot of people were nervous maybe to try to do and stuff, that was kind of their forte.
I think Chris and Ken had a lot of trust in each other, and then later on, Chris brought his son along, Greg, and tutored him.
Started out with just a few employees and grew to, I think, at the peak in the early 80s, they had like 150 people working for them.
The economy wasn't that strong. And in turn, those two guys have a company that's still in existence today.
They went through some very difficult times, and they were always able to persevere through hard work and dedication.
But Chris built more than just the pipes and roads that support a community. He helped create the infrastructure that supports our most important resource, our kids.
Instead, he was one of the original founders of the Boys and Girls Club. And, he doesn't go out there or at any time ever put the flag up that he was part of it. He did it. And he was in it till the day he died.
I think Chris was a silent hero. I think he exemplified what many people would like to be like. He always had his hand in the community. He helped people when they needed help without ever being asked.
He quietly contributed to the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Truckee Meadows and Yarrington, and the athletic and academic programs at Bishop Manogue High School.
I mean, he was like a few other people that didn't want their name out there, but he did so much in the background with the Boys and Girls Club.
I know that Chris semi-retired in the mid-'80s, and but you'd never know it. He was always in the mix.
Never asked for anything in return. He always wanted to give because I think he felt in life he was very blessed that what he did, he made good money at.
A few of the values are that he instilled in myself and everybody else that worked for him was work hard, be honest, treat people fairly, always pay your bills, and give back to your community.
Chris was a man of adventure, an easy rider who was a quiet ringleader, subtle taskmaster, and first and foremost, a family man and friend for life.
He looked like a motorcycle guy. He had that beard, the graying beard, and he had those steel blue eyes, and the women would fall in love when he had his old cowboy hat he'd wear, and the women would always go to him. They wouldn't go to any rest of us. And he had just a personality. He had that grin that just went right through the women and some of the men.
One afternoon, Chris calls me up and says, let's take a ride on the Harleys up to Gray Eagle and we'll have lunch. We did, and on the way home we stopped out at Hallelujah Junction. When we were in getting the bottle of water, there was this badass looking dude. And he walked up to Chris and he says, brother, I think I know you. And Chris says, well, I don't know where that'd be. And he says, looks at Chris and he says, have you ever been to San Quentin?
He was a real Harley guy. We were just a bunch of make-believe guys.
Chris Gerhardt was a man of the earth, a man in full, who embodied skill, integrity, and responsibility.
He just had a spirit for life that is hard to describe. I mean, I'd love being around him because the energy would pour off into me. And he was, when Chris left, I a piece of me left with him.
Chris was one of the best friends you could ask for. I just wish I could have known him longer.
Unfortunately, Dad isn't here this evening. If he was, though, he'd be honored to receive this award. You know, he's a very special man to me. I love him with all my heart, and like the rest of you, wish that he was still here with us.
Chris is very deserving of this Sir Award and is looking at us with that unmistakable, refreshing smile of his and saying, "Thank you, guys."
Chris Gerhardt, the Sir Award.